Well, thank you guys for both meeting with us. We were really excited. Of course, Mr. Rather, we enjoy you so much, admire you so much.
Well, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Good to see you again.
Yeah. This is great. This scholarship program has made some real changes in some people's lives, hasn't it? Why don't you explain where it started and what it is?
Sure. So it started all the way back in 2015. It's called the Rather Prize. And the idea is we give a $10,000 prize for the best idea to improve Texas education. So this is open to, any student, teacher, administrator. And the idea is really to have ideas, if you will, come from the bottom up, not the top down. So from people who are in a classroom every single day, innovating in any kind of different way to try and have their idea really get some attention, get out there, and go to other schools. And we've seen some great success in the just few years that we've been doing this. Had a really great winner last year named Armin Salick, who had this Legal Eagles idea where basically high school students could help with very basic legal work like name changes or divorces or wills or things like that, in an effort to try and expand access to legal education, all led by high school students. So we've seen some really innovative ideas. People come and they speak every year at South by Southwest EDU with the winner. And so we're here just trying to get people to submit their best idea to improve Texas education.
So both my kids go to Aikens High School.
Oh, they do? Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's where Armin is.
That's excellent. I was very excited to hear that it was
that school's fantastic. I mean, I've been so impressed with them from the beginning.
Really great school.
Well, in answer to the question of how it started, this was Martin's idea. His grandmother, my wife Jean, had said to him when Martin was about 17, it's time for you to start thinking about how to give back. That
awesome.
You're privileged, and we believe as a family in giving back, said she. And much to our surprise, Martin came forward with this, what we thought was a really good idea. We have no illusions. This is not the biggest prize in the world. It's not the biggest contest in the world. But if we could help improve Texas education even just a little bit, we'd feel good about it. But I give Martin full credit for coming up with the idea. But it's now something that the whole family is involved in.
Awesome.
So you said it's been going on for 5 years. Tell people how do they apply?
Yeah, so it's easy. You just go straight to ratherprize.org. And, we're really committed to an open and egalitarian process for this. So people can submit any kind of different idea. We've seen ideas come from people as young as, in the 5th grade, all the way through retired teachers, who have, 40, 50 years experience in the classroom. It's really about the content and the ability to implement that idea, certainly more than who it comes from. So it's really easy, just right there on our website at ratherprize.org.
I personally came up with 2 for Tuesday, which is playing the song from 2 artists or the same artist twice. Is there a way I could get some of that cash, 10 grand for that? I mean,
I think it certainly educated some people. So
yeah, I really want the money. I'll flush out the idea later. I got the name though.
The marketing is there, no doubt.
So can we ask a question about politics to you, Elder Rather? It's been crazy this year. 2020 is crazy. What are your thoughts on, heading into the election season?
Well, I always start when we talk about an election by reminding myself that in politics, overnight is a long time. A week is forever. And that while it seems like now we're closing down on what I call vote day in early November, there's still a long way to go. I myself consider the race very fluid. I wouldn't argue with anybody, including the polls, that says, well, I think Joe Biden is out front. That may be. But things in politics can change very quickly. What we least expect often happens. What we most expect frequently does not happen. We need to keep that in mind. Having said that, I think it's very clear that the overriding narrative of the campaign so far has been the coronavirus and our battle with the pandemic. Yeah. That the Democrats and their ticket, Biden-Harris, have repeatedly hit the theme of President Trump has not been up to the job. He's really fouled it up. And President Trump has had to play defense all the way. He's He's been able to change the subject. He's a master of distraction. One could also say he's a master of deception, but that's another subject for another time, perhaps. Certainly a master of distraction. But he's been playing defense most of the way. Frankly, I think it was one of his big problems in the so-called debate. It wasn't, let's face it, wasn't debate at all. It was kind of a joint appearance. It was a hullabaloo. It was a something, but it wasn't a debate. But
Right. Yeah. Now, I've always wanted to ask you a question, Mr. Rather, Dan, my friend, since we are friends. Who is, besides Heather and me, who's the most interesting person that you ever interviewed? I mean, you've talked to everyone, and you've done our show before, and we've loved it, and always love your insight. But who sticks out in your mind? I know it'd be hard to narrow down. Just pick one.
Well, I'll try to answer the question, but let's face it, I've been really lucky and mightily blessed as a reporter. I could give you the name of any one of maybe 25 people that I can't settle on one. Sometimes it's not somebody particularly well known that I would say to you, I really enjoyed and learned from that interview. For example, a mill worker who's been mistreated by having to handle toxic chemicals. Sometimes it's a great interview and somebody interests me a lot. But I want to try to get to your question. I covered Dr. Martin Luther King in the early part of the civil rights movement in the early 1960s. And that experience changed me as a person and as a professional. So I didn't get to interview Dr. King one-on-one very often, but any conversation, even any interview with him, was an unforgettable experience. Having said that, anytime you interview an American president, as a journalist, I think you should feel honored and privileged to do it, but that doesn't mean that you lay back and give softball questions. But,
right.
I was the White House correspondent for 10 years. I never walked through the gates of the White House that I didn't say to myself, it's really an honor to be here, and I want to do the best I can do. So interviews with presidents were always and will remain always very special with me.
Yeah, when people ask me that, you know who I say? I say Dan Rather. Because I get that a lot, and I go, I've always enjoyed talking to you. We've had some great conversations, and I treasure that forever,
Well, I appreciate that.
So, Martin, once more, just tell people where to go to find out more about the Rather Prize.
Yeah, so you just go to ratherprize.org. Submissions are going to be open now into early next year, into January of 2021. And, we hope that, again, anybody who's got any sort of idea, they see it work. It's a recycling program that's, innovative just in their classroom, and they want to see it go somewhere else, or really whatever else it might be. Please go on and submit your idea. And we're just really grateful for people like the two of you for helping us get the word out there that, this is out
thank you.
Our pleasure.
Honored to do it.
And seriously, congratulations to Aikens Eagles. Way to go.
Yeah.
Love the
Because my son's a senior this year, and my daughter is class of 2018. So we just have so much love for that school. I'm really proud.
Fantastic. Well, so are we. They're doing a great job there.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you
See
both.
you guys.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right.